Let's rest our concerns about the future of universities for a while and let's play a little bit with our visual imagination. In this discussion-based MOOC, we have shared thoughts about how the world is changing around our universities and how inspiring words as diversity, quickness, scalability, sustainability could become drivers of change able to transform our universities from their roots. But is our model able to mobilize the resources for changing itself as much it is needed? Probably new forces are needed, helping us in looking for new paths, and these forces have to arrive from somewhere out there. For sure, we need to interact much more strongly with all the actors involved in the production and reproduction of the knowledge in our societies. But in order to be really disruptive, the new models have to be not just multi-actor and connected, but also chaotic, dynamic, difficult to contain. In a word, rhizomatic. This adjective was inspired by two French scholars, Deleuze and Guattari, that used the terms rhizome and rhizomatic to describe the theory that allows to use multiple non-hierarchical entry and exit points in knowledge construction and representation. In Mille Plateaux, published in 1980, they oppose the rhizomatic approach to a traditional hierarchic tree-like conception of knowledge, which works with dualist categories and binary choices. A rhizome, on the contrary, works with planar and transspecies connections, while an arborescent model works with vertical and linear internal connections. In such a vision of the models of production and reproduction of knowledge, universities could play as leaders by catalyzing the immersion, the formalization and the sharing of the knowledge that is asset not just of the academy, but also of the main actors of our society. Companies, GLAMs, galleries, libraries, archives, museums, institutions, third sectors, but also citizens. In a word, our universities will be transformed in multiversities. For example, if you want actually to face a main global issue as food security, considered as the physical and economical possibility for everybody to satisfy the need of food, you have to create professionals able to understand and integrate in their action not only interdisciplinary knowledge, but also the knowledge that isn't inside the university, the knowledge that is asset of the local communities, rural associations, research institutions, international non-governmental organizations, and so on. Universities are perhaps the only actor that has developed in the history the ability to talk and to stay in contact and to interact with all these subjects. But for playing as leader and for being the real living principle of the new knowledge ecosystem, where all the knowledge sources are mobilized and put into circulation, universities should be able to be leader from a key aspect of all the knowledge-related processes: methodology. Universities have still a lot to do for developing themselves as indisputable leaders in learning methodologies. But how we can change this? How we can accelerate the evolution of the methodological expertise about teaching and learning in universities? We have a traditional road paved with teacher training, incentives for teachers, and so on. Let's go, it's a safe road. But by the way, we can try also something else. We can try to find innovation drivers able to disrupt a little bit the context of teaching learning and to free creative energies so far frozen. The idea is not just to train teachers in using new methodologies, but it also to change the set of the teaching experience in order to motivate them in looking for new and more effective ways. Some examples of this context disrupting approaches. Mobilizing students. We still consider students as passive receivers of knowledge. What if we involved them deeper in the knowledge production and reproduction? We have already a lot of projects already existing in this dimension, but just imagine how much we could change learning processes involving students massively in the production of learning resources, in the review and organization of existing ones, in the connection with sources available in our local context, and particularly by transforming their native ability of peer-to-peer learning in a structured pillar in each learning step. Another inspiration, inside-out edu actions. I call inside-out edu actions all the education initiatives that are promoted by the university but outside the traditional curricular paths. These kind of initiatives, being free from the rules of the system, are fertile ground for growing innovative approaches. Developing these initiatives could be an interesting strategy for fostering didactic innovation, particularly in the use of all the online learning strategies that can support big groups of students in bridging gaps or in integrating their curricula, particularly in the domain of soft skills. Another possible inspiration, service learning. The engagement with the society is becoming more and more relevant for the university, and it could be an interesting opportunity for fertilizing didactics by integrating socially responsible initiatives that foster active and location-based learning with the name of services for the community. You see, empowering students, inside-out edu actions, service learning are just some examples, but how many other opportunities you could have in your universities for changing the set and for creating fertile grounds able to give to the teachers a new motivation for exploring new learning teaching methodologies. And when a leaders group starts making effective changes in daily life, you never know. If the rhizome approach begins, it's very difficult to contain.